Hey everyone, hope everyone's doing okay. So, doing a quick introduction on my side. My name is Valentin Mikov. I am one of the co-founders and co-CEO of Enflux. We do market making as a service for cryptocurrency projects, exchanges. We also do OTC investment for small cap projects. And today I'm here with my colleague and friends Dendi from Bitwire. Want to do a quick intro?
Thank you for inviting me.
Yeah.
Hi guys, my name is Dendi. I'm the CEO of Bitwire, and I run a licensed spot exchange here in Indonesia.
Yeah, yeah. We've known each other for, I guess, like a couple of years. First time we met was at CoinFest Bali, I guess, like 2021.
2021,
Yeah, I got quite interested in the way you guys, like the philosophy and like the organization of the exchange on the perp side. So yeah, I guess I think today maybe we can just discuss from a market making and from an exchange perspective how cryptocurrency markets work, right? So yeah, do you wanna start a bit on the exchange sides, on the perps? Like, where are you guys at? Like, what are you up to?
Interesting. Yeah, so we've been developing the exchange technology for quite some time right now, right? And for the base code was built by myself. I've been working with my co-founder Aditya since 2019, and he's a very fun person to work with. So I take the responsibility of the engineering part. Recently, since the last year, like I guess this 2024, we've been building up our risk engine, matching engine for derivatives, especially perps, right? We'd love to go to options, but it's a whole set of new problems that we're going to tackle next year. But perps is where we're going at, and I think we're very, very confident we could like release it in beta on January 1st, 2025.
Nice. So that's a couple of weeks away, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, hopefully.
How does it work on the regulatory sides?
I see. So on the
Indonesia, the market is not yet tapped into. I think
exactly.
I think everyone is quite interested from an institutional, from an institutional perspective, business perspective.
Exactly. For the license itself, only crypto spot is regulated per se in Indonesia. So if you want to delve into derivatives, it's a different set of license that's been interpreted. Don't kind of want to touch there because it's still like something that's speculation. Yeah. But on the crypto spot side, it's under Bapepti, and we're really happy that we've been able to work with Bapepti. So Bapepti is like the CFTC of Indonesia. Okay. That's for the American viewers here, right? And for the regulatory side, it's been really I guess free market oriented. Recently, they allowed institutions to onboard to crypto exchanges. Yeah, which is a really cool thing.
Yeah. Nice. Yeah, I find personally the Indonesian market very, very interesting. I've been spending a lot of my time over the past few years in Indonesia. Like, what do you think about where Indonesia is going when it comes to cryptocurrency? What's your opinion?
I think I've seen the statistics. I believe you too, right? So yeah. There's still a small portion, the 16 million out of let's say 300 million that are using crypto in Indonesia, like registered on exchange and KYC'd. So I mean, I guess we both are very bullish on that side. Yeah. And we're investing a lot here on that sort of thing. But I think the number could only go up, right?
Yeah,
that's it.
Do you think it's mostly institutional, or like in terms of trading volume, or do you think it's more retail?
I think eventually, when after Bapepti allowed institutions, I think the institutions would take over as a main source of volumes. Yeah, I think so. Yeah. Right now, retail is probably the largest, like probably 98, 99%. Yeah. But yeah, very soon, the institutions would definitely start to take over. Yeah.
I feel that I don't yet fully understand like the Indonesian market. Like there's maybe I'm slightly biased. We work with we work with quite a bit of other market makers as well. I think there's like the topic of arbitrage, between FX and crypto.
Yeah.
So from my perception is, there's a bunch of arbitrage when it comes to FX.
Yes. Yes, definitely.
And those type of inefficiencies are kind of being essentially exploited by market makers such as myself. And I think one thing that you guys do differently is that you build the code base by yourself.
Yeah.
To make it as latency sensitive as possible.
Yes.
Make it fast and reliable in order to minimize those inefficiencies.
Yes.
Right. I've been
definitely.
I've been really interested about this as well. Do you want to touch base on it?
Sure. So we built the exchange to be a HFT low latency exchange, not just for spot but for derivatives down the line. It was my long time dream to build a derivatives exchange, a low latency one for institutions. Now we've got a chance. You're touching base on arbitrage is really important because arbitrage we can it's because of mispricing, right? And this mispricing happens because quotes that are unadjusted by a dealer, market maker, anyone, like a forex dealer or whatever, right? So if and usually crypto premiums or discount happen because the market makers forget to adjust it, or like the adjustment is pretty slow because of the throughput that exchanges get hammered by every day. So we designed it so cancellation is less than 1 millisecond, if not in the microsecond range. And that's what we expect this feature, or like we would like to attract institutions or high speed traders like yourself to our exchange.
For sure. I think also the game of speed and latency is similar to like TradFi. It's slightly rigged in my opinion, because it also comes down to co-location, right? So if you can ensure that you can locate yourself just next to the servers of the exchange, you can basically max out the speed. You can essentially do some sort of front running.
Correct.
So I think that's one thing that's been happening with major exchanges from a market making perspective. How do you guys deal with co-location?
This is really interesting question that you just pointed out. The problem with TradFi institutions like CME or like NYSE or like NASDAQ is that as a market maker, if you want to co-locate, it would be extremely expensive. The barrier to entry would be really, really high. As a crypto exchange, a team or a person who wants to be a market maker could just like dial us up and like ask for like a specific server, right? As long as you can access our APIs, there's no barrier to entry to anyone, and that allows the free market to exist. Like instead of like giving us very large institutional market maker speed advantages on your site, everyone has the same exact, and mostly we're doing it in the cloud anyway, right? So exactly.
I love how you underline that this actually represents a fair market. Right. It's like a very transparent market where everyone gets the same kind of base starts. So it's actually a competition between performance, between kind of bits and assets. For sure. We've been quite excited on working with you guys on kind of integrating, kind of also working on the API. We've seen, like as Enflux, we've been working with quite a few exchanges, especially exchanges that are in comparatively early stages. And we see this sort of collaboration on kind of designing, upgrading, and testing like everything when it comes to like API endpoints, API design, just everything client facing. There's no one better to do it than a market maker that's going to stress test.
Exactly.
You can get a technical writer, you can get a you can get guys that stress test it, but at the end, the majority user of those API endpoints would be essentially the market maker.
Yeah, exactly. Definitely recommended.
Yeah. Thank you very much.
Definitely recommended. Yes.
So, yeah, how do you see? Quite interesting. Maybe we can get a bit more in detail, because you guys are going to be offering pairings to IDR, Indonesia, and Rupiah.
Correct.
We have our perception of how the risk should be managed, but what do you think about the implied risk of offering markets on alternative quote assets like IDR?
Yeah, I guess the more and more the crypto market would expand, there's something that I really love what Adit says, my co-founder says, like back in the days when Mt. Gox was there, you could see only BTC, but with like multiple quotes on fiat, right? So IDR, USD, Euro, Japanese yen, and all that. I think right now with stables, you can see those markets, like those fiat markets in stables, right? And for specific exchanges like us or BitCub, we have quotes for coins against IDR too, right? That begs like the question, where are you going to source the liquidity and all that, and then how do you get the FX line? I think there's many exchanges that are popping up around the world also. Like for example, in South America, that's against Mexican peso, and also in Turkey, Turkish lira. I think for us having these pairs with IDR, obviously the best solution is like the market maker has an access to an FX line, right? Or a high speed access to delta hedging and FX lines, right? But the other thing that would be great is that this that we can help provide that with our relationships here in Indonesia, and then have provide that to the market makers. So on both sides. So there has been some requests regarding to that specifically.
Yeah. What do you think about rather than using IDR, there is a tokenized IDR version? Do you think that's coming?
Would love to do that. We're working with a stable coin on top of Solana, actually.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, it's called Jagat IDR. It's used in Bali too.
Yeah.
We know the team, and since it's on top of Solana, it'll be really cool for payments anyway.
Yeah.
But yeah, I agree that a tokenized idea would be great.
Yeah.
One thing that I would note is that since this might be listened by Indonesian users, the stablecoin area might be regulated by the OJK and the central bank very soon. So yeah, we still need to put some notes.
Yeah, I think there are like multiple sides to the same coin. Like when it comes to stable coins, they have like the regulatory side. We also have the usability. Just dealing with fiats and dealing with cryptocurrency. Although it's the same underneath, like value underneath, and represents the same thing, it's much different. I'm very bullish on crypto. I'm very bullish on blockchain.
Yes,
as we can see.
Yes.
So like I'm down for using like tokenized stablecoins versus fiat, just from a usability perspective. I think regulation is coming.
Catching up.
It's catching up.
Yeah.
And I think everything is going to be more regulated, but more usable at the same time. And which is what we wanted to see. We want to see adoption.
Definitely. Yeah.
And
large scale mass adoption.
Yeah. Large scale mass adoption. So if this is what it takes,
that's fine.
That's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree too.
For sure.
Nice point that you're bringing there on the stable coins is, I mean, I was into this because I'm a geek, right? So mostly.
Yeah, I'm a geek too.
Same. We're I was into like forums, like internet forums and all that back in the days when the internet was in the early 2000s, and there's like the cypherpunk movement, right? So I think the cypherpunk movement started the Bitcoin movement too. But back in the days, before it was some kind of like digital gold, people wanted to be able to beam like money across the planet, right?
Mm-hmm.
And there's this notion, I think, in the forum that says, oh, I really want to be able to, imagine like the developing countries, people have access to a stable dollar.
Yeah.
Right. So I think we're seeing that prevalent right now. It's like USD stablecoins, like USDT, USDC, USD, FDUSD. But I guess that's in my opinion, also it's like the really crazy innovation happens around the stablecoin and payment side. Yeah. You cannot wait. Yeah, I think that mass adoption will come from the stablecoin side too, and like various other tokenized fiat.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Metamask actually just announced yesterday they're launching a credit card.
They are.
Yeah. Or debit cards. Not really sure.
Yeah.
I have very mixed feelings about this. What is your take?
That's
so it's a bit spicy one. Like I can start. Like for me personally, I think we're trying to move away from credit cards as much as possible, because you have like the transaction fee, which is like absurd. Like if you use if you're a cash driven economy, like $100 from one person passed to the other and passed to the other, like sequence of 100 is still going to be $100. But if you do the same with those credit card companies, is going to be a slight cut
98
0 point
2%
2% or 90 bips or a bit so I think we should try to move away. So I think MetaMask is doing a good job in just adoption of its product, but the means, I'm not really sure about this.
I have kind of mixed feeling about it. The one thing, I think the UX on a credit card is really good.
UX is amazing.
Yeah. Like I still think if you are trying to do a tap or like a swipe or like insert chip, you don't need to bring your phone. For example, on a stablecoin QR code, you need to scan the QR code and send it. And then the worst part was about this stablecoin thing is like you need to fill out the gas. That's and everyday users, when I try to explain to the the layman guys, they barely understand why do you need to put gas there, right? So if you abstract that away, that'd be really cool. And I think that's MetaMask. Want to do a full disclosure? We did a small investment in Cast, the stablecoin neobank, and it's I think it's they have a really cool like virtual credit card that you can tap into your like app on your phone. And it's I think
it's that's the future, but it all comes down to fees.
I agree. I agree. But they still charge 2%. So
exactly.
Which is
I think it's a good business model. I mean, as a business owner that wants to kind of expand to another division, whether you're an exchange or you're a service provider or anything, just creating a credit card, like it totally makes sense. Increase the usability. I guess Bitwire would also create a credit card.
Would love to. Would love to down the line. But one thing that's like amazing though, you don't even need to use your bank anymore. Right? You just fill out your like MetaMask address and then you like swipe your credit card. Right? It's amazing. Right?
Like I'm personally a guy that would pay a bit of a premium just for having an ease.
Convenience,
Maybe not 2%, maybe 1.5. But
I agree.
Maybe 1 to 1.5.
I'll find my first cents.
For sure. Oh, interesting times. Do you think we're gonna get to a point where we don't use fiat?
I think what do you think? It's
well, I don't think so.
Yeah.
I think we're gonna have a hybrid economy between fiat and crypto. So depends on how what and who we engage with. So if we engage with other people, which is like peer to peer, for example, some sort of service provider, like do your laundry or any sort of service based economy, I think it makes sense for it to be a P2P. Crypto would support the system much better. But when it comes to kind of government, like to paying taxes, to like facing a centralized governmental body, I think it's going to be really, really difficult. But I think we're going to become a hybrid model. Fiat for centralized institutions and crypto for decentralized ones and peer-to-peer. That's what I think.
Yeah. I have somewhat a contrarian view that the only like form of money down the line that would exist would be either cash or crypto.
Okay.
Yeah. Like the fiat, cash is still fiat, right? But the M1, M2, M3 kind of thing, like in the bank account, like surrounding money supply and all that. The money supply that's in the bank, at one point the banks would realize they are crypto exchanges. They need to be, or the crypto exchanges need to be banks.
Yeah.
And then they either would merge or like eat each other. So that's kind of my bet here.
Yeah.
But the thing is with cash, you cannot eliminate cash unless you have a global coverage of internet across the planet. Which even if you do, if you want to buy fish, it's easier using cash, right?
Yeah.
Right? Yeah, you can go to a market in like Sulawesi or in the middle of Tanzania or whatever. And you just give cash. No one like at this moment like accept crypto, probably except in Dubai.
Yeah.
That people just prevalently accept crypto.
Yeah. I was recently in Japan, first time actually. And I was surprised. My perception about cash-driven economy has changed. Previously, I thought a cash-driven economy is an economy that hasn't really caught up to technology. But however, in Japan, it is a very high-tech environment, but they still prefer to use cash just because it works.
Exactly.
Right? And the value is maintained.
Yeah.
Right? And I think also it has something to do with, like it's the stability of kind of the country and the government, ignoring like last year, like cash-driven economy works, and why not use it?
It does. It does. Yeah. And also in Japan, like you don't give the cash to the cashier; you enter it to machines. It's just automatic.
Exactly.
Counting.
Yeah.
Give the coins.
So it's still high tech.
Right? Yeah. It's still very high tech.
It's still very high tech. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. Big fan.
Yes.
Yeah. Talking about cash, I wanted to touch upon a topic which is on OTC.
Okay.
Like you guys do OTC.
Yes, we do have an OTC desk.
You have an OTC trading desk. Correct. We do like OTC, but we do OTC investment, so it's more of an investment type. So shall we touch upon what's the difference? I think there's a lot of confusion between what a OTC trading desk is and what an OTC investor is.
Right.
So OTC investment is actually purchasing equity or tokens directly from the supplier rather than the open market, right? So it's over the counter. I think the benefit to that is you don't really impact the price on the market as much, which is hugely important for markets that don't have enough liquidity and that don't have enough trading volume, right? So it avoids destabilizing the market. So that's the thing we do. We purchase tokens directly from those projects, which is completely different than OTC trading desk, and like the way it operates is completely different. So can you explain what a OTC trading desk is?
For like the basics probably touches the same thing. You don't there's less liquidity in the market, and also you don't want to impact the prices where you come to an OTC trading desk, right? Like us here. You basically call us up and do KYC, onboard the onboarding all that. But like as a high net worth individual client or institution, you'd come to us to basically for an OTC desk, you'd buy a certain amount or like sell a certain amount that you don't want to impact the market, right?
Yeah.
Then like we take that price risk for you and we settle immediately, and then later on we would take that price risk and liquidate that in the market, like do various means to clear it, right? But for like an OTC, I agree with you. People have been interchanging OTC investment and OTC desk, but like for example, like a friend of mine is like, hey, do you want to do some OTC investment? I was surprised. It turns out it's like it's a niche word right now. And I agree with you. It's pretty much investing directly, like equity or equity tokens, or like tokenized.
Yeah, I mean, vice versa as well.
Exactly.
People come up to us and it's like, hey, can you guys help me sell 10 million Bitcoin?
Yeah.
And I'm like, I'm not a trading desk, man. Like, go ask Dendi. Yeah, it's like the mechanisms that are underneath the OTC trading desk are also pretty interesting from a market making perspective. I think what you guys do is as you said, you take on the risk and then you distribute the liquidity on different markets or different market makers, right? So how do you, like, as an exchange, create this risk model?
Right. So as an exchange, we have like a different point of view because we have the execution venue ourselves, right? And really good relationship with other exchanges as well as various other market makers, right?
Yeah.
And within probably minutes, we'd be able to like liquidate or like clear it out with like various partners globally. And I guess the relationship is a key word here, right? And then, I mean, obviously trading is a relationship game, right? And what we see in crypto is as long as we can like grow together over these cycles, it's and then you benefit each other. It's just really nice to have in this relationship would build over time.
So do you think OTC is a more of a service or it's a product?
It's definitely a service as well. Yes. We have that service for our specific clients. And these clients really want to try to not have price impact, and also one thing is like anonymity, right, on their orders. Like, so if you're like liquidating $1 million on the order book, instead of like liquidating that, you come to us, right? To you, right? And that's where mostly those guys want to use the OTC service.
So it's in a way a high-end P2P.
Yes, correct. High-end regulated P2P.
High-end regulated P2P.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, interesting stuff. I mean, we work more on we work with quite a bit of projects. So I think within our area of expertise, OTC is always about investment. You want to invest in the projects, and those early stage projects, they usually have between like $20,000 or $100,000 of trading volume a day.
Yes.
Liquidity is around like $10,000 to $20,000 within 10%. So if you actually want to buy like $50,000 worth of tokens, you're gonna shoot up the price like 250 times.
Pretty much.
Which is it's unsustainable. The asset is going to be overpriced. Doesn't make sense.
Yeah, complex, non-linear.
Exactly. It's a very interesting game. There's also the side that we work with those projects that have both centralized exchange listing and decentralized exchange listing.
Interesting.
So I see a lot of those projects actually switching from over the counter with some sort of discount for the risk to a different type of model, which is, hey, go purchase on the decentralized exchange, and we're going to give you a small discount afterwards. So this way they try to initialize some sort of price increase, right? However, again, this is going to make the asset overpriced, which is not good for investment. So I think from an OTC investment purpose, just buying it directly from as a P2P is the way to go.
I agree.
Yeah. How do you how did you get into crypto, man?
Ooh, the rabbit hole.
Yeah.
Being like a computer geek since a while, did dial up, joined internet forums and all that. Was doing my bachelor's in Jakarta, and obviously read the white paper 2013. And yeah, it's just like blew my mind that there's something that like this exists. immediately I joined like this Bitcoin forum on Facebook. Facebook was in the days. I like chatted, and that's how I met my co-founder, right? And he taught me a lot of stuff, right?
Yeah.
He was a very early OTC dealer in the space.
Yeah.
And that's how I knew it. And yeah, how about you?
Yeah, for me, I was studying computer science as well in London in UCL quite some time ago, and on campus there's a lot of service provider, cloud providers. Just like cloud was kind of coming up, there's a lot of brochures to use this cloud or use the other one. Like Azure was coming in, like AWS was trying to kind of catch up. But there was I had access to a lot of discounted server computes. I'm like, what can I do with it? Like I don't need like 20 servers. Like what am I gonna do with it? And then I started reading into crypto. It's like, actually I can mine crypto with it. It's like there's like actually arbitrage with a discount on the servers, and the amount of ETH I can mine, I can make some money. And I did make some money.
Nice.
I started mining Ethereum back in the day. It was like $2.50.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
$2.50.
2016.
Yeah. More or less. And I sold it for $30.
Nice. Whoa, that's a nice trade.
That's a pretty good return, right?
That's a nice trade.
It's like a meme coin. ETH was a meme coin back in the day for me.
Yeah.
I should have held. Anyways, regret.
That's fine. Everyone does it, right? The pizza guy.
Yeah. Oh my god. That must have hurt. How do you live with this?
Ooh.
Wow. Like
nice question.
I wouldn't want to eat pizza ever again.
Yeah. Me neither, if I'd be that guy. But definitely if you think about a crypto, assuming it's quantum resistant and all that, assuming it will be another 100, 200 years, right? Like price point would be irrelevant at this point. It's like this usages. I think that the transaction in the early days that like with these large amount of Bitcoins or Ethereum are just like the reason why the network exists in the first place.
Yeah.
But again, like if you calculate the time value right now, it's just like, why?
Yeah.
I don't know. I have a mixed feeling because of that. Exactly. And when Bitcoin, I think, shot from 6K to 20 back again, I remember there was like a discussion on the Zcash or like Bitcoin forum, Bitcoin talk forum. It's like, oh yeah, like finally we're like at this point, and the transaction in the early days really matter.
Yeah, for sure. It's about adoption. I see a lot of altcoins are trying to get adoption in different ways. Like airdrops to simulate people transacting with this particular token, or kind of KOLs. What is your take on the best way to simulate usability of a token?
There's I think there was there was a model about virality, right? Like how pandemics somewhat propagate, right? Then you have like these network effects and all that. It really depends on the coefficient, right? So the coefficient is like the KOL podcast, right? Pretty much. So you put like e to the power of lambda times t, right? So what's lambda? So, does this guy talk much about this product? Is the product good? You're like, if it's Solana, sure, right? Or like it's Aptos and like these high throughput blockchains. But then there's these, of course, like won't name projects. Like there's these projects that are very interesting. The propagation doesn't happen like that. But probably like that. And then you just like slap a price on it, right? Pretty much. or I've been talking to some traders in Singapore. They're just like, how do you? I ask them like, how do you like price that? And they're like what? Come on, man. Right? They're just following the wind. So I'm like, okay. Like there's all sorts of. That's what I love about the market. Is this like you can see from the price bid ask, like human greediness, human fear, what's wrong,
Yeah.
Like it's very human.
Yeah.
You know?
The main thing is, again, like we say this over and over again. It's all about utility, utility, utility. You know, you need utility in your token. You need people to use it for a purpose, right? I mean, there's the layer of like speculation. You can trade like Pepe and stuff like that.
Pepe and fart coin.
Fart coin, yeah. Like, wow. I'm always surprised, like, to be honest. Like, I thought that at some point I'm gonna stop being surprised. I'm like, oh wow, it's like, okay, like Pepe is like the new one. It's like, okay, like that's it. People now understand it's all about speculation. So like the market dynamics are gonna like cover it up. And then comes like fart coin. You know, like come on, man. So yeah, there's a lot of people throwing the like investment guidebooks in the fucking trash. You know, like this shit doesn't work. Just you can throw it in the garbage because Fartcoin wins.
Yeah, I saw that. It's really, really
but those are usually short-lived. I mean, that's the thing.
Definitely,
you can capitalize on the hype. Exactly. And there are a lot of good people that like they can sense the hype. They can sense the kind of traction. Something is
part of the game too.
It's part of the game, right? So it makes noise, and at the end you want noise in order to attract more people to the pool. And the pool, it has Fartcoin, but it also has utility tokens. It also has company. It's like one of the I'm a very big fan of carbon credits. Like the way carbon credits are kind of being minted. So I think the whole like game around carbon credits is still not well thought of. So a lot of it is BS. However, quite a bit of companies are trying to decentralize carbon credit minting. You know, and I think this is awesome. You know, like you could actually try to encourage like the average person to do something about the environment, and large corporations to purchase an asset that is really representable of the effort of that in order to offset some sort of carbon. Right? I think we still have like 3-4 years until the carbon market, especially in Europe, gets like defined and regulated to the way that matters. So like you could avoid like double counting. You could avoid all of this kind of BS that is currently there. Exactly. Interesting. But you know, like blockchain is the solution for this, and I'm very bullish on those type of projects. We work with, I think, like five of them at Enflux. All of them very solid projects. All of them based in Europe. Very, very bullish on those guys. So that's a real life scenario, which I'm like, wow, yeah, that's why we need blockchain, right? That's why we need crypto. And yeah, if you want to support this project, you just buy the token and you kind of ride with it in a way. But still, there's a question of volatility and the risk. So yeah, speaking about volatility, like how do you guys handle volatility on your end? Because on the exchange side, I think it's similar to the way like the way we handle volatility on the market making side. So you have like the base asset, you have the quote asset. You know, it's like over a longer period of time, you get volatility. You run out of the base, you run out of the quote.
Yes.
It's like how do you manage that from the exchange perspective?
From I guess I could talk on the exchange perspective. We're always balanced the books anyway, right? So deposit withdrawal, like if not over collateralized.
Yeah.
Especially since we're regulated, we're putting over collateralization on our wallets. But as a exchange, seeing the market makers and how the market makers do it, is these, from what I believe, they have volatility prediction models.
Yeah.
Right? So and of course, like price prediction algos, right? So you balance out the quote and base of the quote.
Yeah.
It's really, really interesting problem. It's actually very hard, right?
It is, and it has, from a market making perspective, it's very difficult to have a singular model when it comes to to management of those assets. That's the biggest. That's the biggest pain point, I guess.
Yeah.
When it comes to trading like Bitcoin or Ethereum, like I think it's a bit easier when it comes to like balancing it out, because you can always hedge it, or you can always tap into other sources of liquidity, or you could there's always the chance that you can slightly misprice it, right? So that someone else has the incentive to actually fill up your USDT or IDR or whatever. But when it comes to small cap tokens, and they only have like one or two exchanges, one or two markets, it's mostly understanding what our client wants from us. It's like, what is the type of risk that they want to take? Do they prefer to kind of build up on the treasury side? They wish to kind of maintain price or like lower volatility. And to be honest, no one has an answer to this, right? So I think this is where Enflux comes in. So we have a bit more consulting-based approach on market making. So what are the trade-offs that you as a token project want to make? Do you want to kind of build your treasury? Do you want to have like stability, lower volatility, or you want to just have the market effects and let the price move? And in the case where we run out of a particular asset, there's also the risk that we are not able to move it fast enough, right? So you need some kind of automation. You need to have reserves as well, if you want to have a continuous flow of liquidity. So it's mostly a communication consulting game for those low cap tokens, and for the big ones like Bitcoin and Ethereum, it's mostly it's algo game, like latency and also trade-off. Like there's a opportunity cost there as well. Do you wish to lose a bit of capital, like negative P&L, in order to build up your reserve, so you can make the next execution better and more profitable? It's a short-term speculation. So do you guys have short-term predictors on Bitcoin price for adjustment of
we don't as an exchange, for sure. We don't. But I guess we've been seeing market makers use that, and that's a very important part of a market maker, as yourself, right? It's really as an exchange, we have the perspective of, if the market makers conduct that operation on our exchange, we're able to have a low latency execution on those orders, right? And also guaranteed liquidity counterparty. That's that you guys can lift their orders, or like post only, right? We have various order types of this too. And I think it's a very, very important thing to be able to do this correctly. One thing that's interesting that you mentioned is that pricing these tokens, and also like the illiquid tokens. Do you see some sort of like a pre-market, like for these tokens that you might like, for example,
pre-market in a way of pre-launch or pre-centralized exchange?
Pre-centralized, post-TGE.
So post-TGE, pre-sex is usually decentralized exchanges.
That's usually decentralized exchanges.
It's usually decentralized exchanges, and I think it only makes sense for post-TGE for the token to go on a decentralized exchange rather than a centralized one.
Okay.
Although, most of our business is centralized exchange basis. I wouldn't recommend anything, against decentralized exchange. I think it totally makes sense. And those initial phases of figuring out the price, because the use of AMMs and the liquidity pools is just a brilliant way to figure out the initial price starting point. And from there onwards, I believe centralized exchanges are more of a funnel to attract new users, to boost usability, adoption, and to also find the new price points. But initially, decentralized exchanges, I think, work the best.
They're the best. I see. Interesting.
But there's always the constant question I see among projects is, do we use centralized exchanges for finding the price, or just for adoption?
Interesting.
Do you plan on kind of listing like post-TG tokens, like early stage
meme
tokens?
coins? Definitely. Definitely. Because it's excitement, right? We should follow that.
What is the, because I see exchanges are being split between, hey, we're gonna be only institutional, and hey, we're gonna kind of serve the masses.
Right.
And
right,
you
right.
guys want to do a hybrid model.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct.
Like, why is
the institutions still want to speculate on this side. Right?
Of course.
Yeah.
Of course. Like, what is the trade-off that you're trying to?
Interesting. So, we've been seeing, one point is like these institutions still want to buy, for some reason, Pepe, these like like meme coins, right? But also, I think they obviously use they also buy coins that have utilities like USDT, right? Or USDC, that's for sure, for cross-border payments. Also sometimes BTC, and Ethereum for gas and all that. But the retail speculative game, as an exchange, we need both sides. The institutions always, like institutional market maker always fills in liquidity. The institution non-market maker usually likes to take large size orders, and basically take liquidity, and like just gives a large size non-toxic order to the order book, right? The retail always is where the fun is, right? So, we see the exchange as not just like a trading pool, but as a social network, right? So people buy and sell there, and then people chat there, chat about it, and all that. So it's really, really exciting to see. But balancing out is hard. Don't have an exact answer to that.
So when I hear like institutional and meme coins, it's like what like in my head, it's like Wolf of Wall Street, like the pink sheets, like
the pink sheets.
Let's go get it, boys. Like, let's funnel this capital. Like let's make a risky move. Let's call that one.
But it's also funny if you think, because you can imagine like Doge, right? Doge, it's a meme coin now, but like they're building L1 there, so there's utility coming through. So you could like, oh my god!
Do you think that was the plan, or it's more like we need to kind of do something anyways?
I think that was never the plan, right? And then they're like, oh, it'll be really funny if you could actually use Doge to do USDT on Doge, right? And you just like buy Doge, and then Doge would like go up. Like,
I think it was more of like, oh, now
now we gotta do something.
We gotta do something like let's
exactly.
L1. Like, any other ideas? Like maybe wallet.
Imagine Fartcoin doing that. Right?
Fart wallets.
Fart wallets. For sure, man. Oh my god.
Funny one. How do you feel about like having like running an exchange? Like what is the most difficult part? Maybe as you as a CEO, or just generally the exchange side of things. I think everyone is curious, like what are those
what
guys
takes
actually
running an exchange. So as an exchange or running exchange, it's a little bit different from running a prop firm, market making firm, and all that. Right? In a prop firm, market making firm, you're trying to make sure your algos work, you win at all costs, you build great infrastructure and all that. In exchanges, it's a little bit different, because you're technically the place where all these market makers congregate. So it's it's for sure like a relationship building game. Like everyone's like, oh, you're starting a new exchange. How do you solve the chicken and egg problem? Just be good at everyone. Just be a nice guy, smile at everyone, and like have be a good relationship builder. I think that's the first one, right? So we being like seeing how things are perceived from the market maker side when I built exchange. Basically, market makers are much more like inclined to talk. They would like, hey, okay, I would love to chat, right? But like any market maker meeting another market maker is like it's a competition, right? So they rarely, except like drinks and all, they're very different. So
except for drinks.
So like everyone in the financial market usually just like drinks with each other and all that, and like exchange gossips. But basically, for exchanges, relationship building is number one, very important.
Yeah.
But also I invest a lot of my time, since I'm technical also, making sure that trading engine is like fine, well, making sure market makers are happy.
Yeah.
And also regarding to connectivity, fees, are they happy with the fees, and all that. And then after you pass these two, relationship building infrastructure in your code base, then it's like bringing the non-toxic retail masses to exchange.
Yeah,
right? That's the hardest.
I think that's the biggest challenge exchanges
That's the
face.
biggest challenge.
So
Yeah.
you have so many exchanges, right?
Exactly.
Like, why would I bother to sign up on a new one,
exchange,
right? So
exactly.
building the incentive structure and
Exactly.
attracting them, like
Exactly.
like minimal resistance,
Exactly.
just all of those
Exactly.
things.
I agree.
I think the thing that makes me open new exchange accounts, like personally, just having bigger yield on my USDT on my stables, or like main pairs. That's how I got attracted to some of those exchanges. Do you guys have a what is going to be
yield product?
what is going to be the honey?
Huh. Interesting.
For retail.
Yeah. I think we try to do the demand pull by building, for sure, down the line. We see a different perspective in how we use these stablecoins. I think for now we're not going to touch the yield bearing stuff, because that's regulated under the OGK. But you can see, like you basically be able to skip using a bank anymore, right? And just you use like virtual credit cards or credit cards. And I think like that demand pull is amazing. Like,
so you're telling me I can like deposit crypto, convert it to IDR, and then
you don't even need to convert it. Your collateral, whatever you put in, the collateral would be in that specific region's currency, following that exact regulation of that currency, and then you would tap like contactless or like insert, and then voila, like you could like pay. Right,
nice.
That's really cool. Nice. Not in the Indonesia region for now, right? But like the second thing that we'd love to see is like a a seamless interaction, like you're using your bank's your banking app, right? So let's say Bullfire, Citibank, or like Chase, you have your like savings account, you have your investment account, right? And then you have the checking account, right? So you can actually tap, like imagine like being able to tap, that's like acting like a checking account. But then the investment side, like buying Bitcoin, buying Ethereum, and most of major cap, that's like investment, right? And you can wire in and out. So if you somewhat see it like a merge between like traditional banking and like new neo crypto banking, that's what we're excited down the line. So that's what we're trying to offer to the retail space. There's various institutions that offer that. Like for example BVNK, but for institutions. But we're trying to build it such that you have an access to a Swiss bank on your phone. And that's where we want to stuff that we're trying to build, and hopefully yield bearing down the line.
Yeah. Man, exactly. I love crypto. It's like if you think about the it's like the ease of entry, and towards like
ease of entry,
ease of entry, in the space. And if you're entrepreneurial and you want to build something big, and like if you want to do it in TradFi, it's so much harder, so much harder, compared to crypto. Like just because of the barrier of entry again, right? So do you think you would have been able to kind of build an
TradFi?
Like TradFi exchange? Like I don't think so.
No, I mean this interaction of P2P makes it just like impossible to do it. In TradFi exchanges. No.
It was my dream to actually run a quantitative trading firm.
That's really
right.
Cool.
So I've been working in hedge funds before, but in order to build your own hedge fund or prop trading desk, you need a lot of money. You need a lot of money I think for
commitment from investors
and a lot of commitment from investors. And like what we decided to start is like market making as a service, which it acts as a service. So we don't actually hold any sort of capital. We just assist people in running it. So we're still running a quantitative business that is algo trading, but like the barrier of entry is much lower. And now we're at the stage where we can make it proper. We can potentially expand to TradFi, although we don't have any plans. But this is what I love about crypto so much, and especially for exchanges like you guys. For Indonesia, what you have one stock exchange, right? But you can have like multiple crypto exchanges,
yes,
right? Because it's not overly regulated. No. It's still regulated, but not overly. So there's different ways of doing things. And what I love about you guys is you do.
Thank you.
You do things differently, and I think this is how innovation thrives.
Yes, right? Definitely. Definitely cannot have. Imagine like with your analogy, like with like hedge funds and prop firms, right? For us, imagine starting a TradFi exchange. It's like pretty hard.
Yeah, I would say
it's pretty
impossible.
hard. Yeah, close to impossible. Right now, you either start with running a dark pool. And then this dark pool is like our alternative trading system, and you get large enough, and then you become a separate exchange. One really cool in the US, like this exchange is propping up. So the big ones like Nasdaq, CME, and IZ.
Yeah.
But then there's also these small exchanges that got bought up by CME and all the others, which is still kind of cool. But the thing with crypto, it's like you could just you want to start an exchange. Yeah. Even the technology is there, right? You like call up these guys and like have the technology and
it's
all
very,
that, right?
It's very like tech heavy. I mean, TradFi is super tech heavy as well.
Tech heavy.
But you don't have different chains there.
No.
You don't have like different like incentive structure for like staking. It's more focused on the tech side as well as the incentive engineering rather than just the paper side and like finances, right? Yeah. So I think this is what allows like geeky guys like ourselves to start something awesome and do something different.
Exactly. There's something that Hester Pierce, I think the SEC commissioner before, was that she's like dubbed the crypto mom in the US, and she says like crypto exchanges or like anything in crypto is like self-regulating, right? Yeah. So you would have these, us institutions. Yeah. We like if you do bad, you'll get self-regulated, which we saw in like 2022, right? Yeah. So yeah.
There should be definitely some sort of framework, right? We want to use technology for the good of everyone. So, I agree. But also there needs to be enough, kind of flexibility of moving around. So it's like this fine balance. I think we'll achieve it. Yeah. The future is looking bright.
Very bright. Yeah. I agree with you. Indeed. I agree. Totally agree.
Yeah. So tell me, what's on the roadmap for 2025 with you guys?
Wow. Yeah.
First of all, getting Enflux on board.
Definitely. That's priority number one, for sure. You guys are just an amazing team. Really appreciate working with you.
Likewise, guys.
Yeah. And like waiting for the PFAK license from Bob to Allen, hopefully end of this month or early January. And turning point for us to be able to offer to retail, like Indonesian retail users. Yeah. And hopefully dealing with a new regulatory environment and being able to somewhat offer derivatives is something that we're excited about. Yeah. Building a futures options exchange would be great. Yeah. 2025.
Nice. Yeah. Tell me about the funding rates.
The funding rate.
Yeah. It's like for me, I was previously running a small kind of like prop shop in crypto, and one of the things that I understood attracts a lot of volume to like perp exchanges is funding rate arbitrage. So it's opportunity cost as well, right? Exactly. You could bridge the gap and try to attract a bunch of traders just so they can capitalize on the funding rate. Like, but how do you plan? Like, if you do plan this sort of strategy,
right?
How do you analyze it, and whether it's worth the risk or the losses? Like,
okay, for funding,
it's like acquisition
arbitrage,
cost in a way.
For funding risk. like as an exchange, we delve that for, as a perspective for the market maker. We never like do it ourselves, right? But this funding rate arbitrage is interesting because it's like self, it's oscillating basically.
Yeah.
And it really depends on the price prediction of these market makers. Like if they do it, it'd be it's a profitable strategy, and I think there's even stable coins developing yields on top of that. It's interesting to see. As internally for our products, we use a different unlike other exchanges, we don't aggregate prices on our own. We use like a MiCA compliant index, and then use that compared to the market price internally to compute the funding rate. So it's pretty interesting.
Interesting. It is indeed what a ecosystem.
Yes, it is.
With I've traded before in some exchanges. There was one called Coinflex some time ago. It was like 3-4 years ago. It was a really good exchange on the perp sides. However, it went down under. So I think from us as on a market making perspective, currently we do market making as a service, but for anyone that's trading their own capital on exchanges, it's also about the safety of the custody. How do you guys handle the custody side of things?
Yes. For us, we use institutional MPC wallets, definitely. There are stuff that we build internally for custom, but we also don't use just one. We use just multiple. And we've been following exchange hacks lately, especially a name one here in Indo and also a name one in India, but mostly propagated by allegedly the Lazarus Group in North Korea. These guys are very sophisticated. And to make sure our wallets are safe, is we have good MPC technology behind it. Not just one, but multiple. Also diversifying the risk, and definitely have a segregation like cold warm wallet. It's very, very important. Which with multi-sig, right? So not just probably the institutional custodian side is very, very important. One other thing is we've been working with Firebox, hopefully down the line, Copper too, Copper Clear Loop, that this is off exchange risk. So to prevent something like FTX happening in the past, where market makers have their money stuck there, right? Instead, you would have a shared vault between the exchange and the market maker, like yourself. So you could post something there and get credit on the exchange on one-to-one, like a specific credit line. And obviously you can't access that as a retail, but regulations set that for this retail, it's over collateralized. So, and in Indonesia, we're regulated, specifically on that hot wallet side. That's very, very strict. We hope this security is more than enough, and we always assess every 1 month.
That's the thing. It's never a one-off. It's always a continuous process.
Yes. It's cat mouse game with these hackers, right?
Exactly. When it comes to crypto adoption, when it comes to security, when it comes to technology, and it's everything is perpetual. Everything is perpetual. One thing I really love about, my business, I love it anyways. But one thing I love about it is we do market making as a service, right? So we're not a traditional market maker. We don't hold custody of any sort of assets. We're essentially kind of a software plus consulting layer on top, which removes the majority of the hassle of actually holding custody, which also I think is a very good model for a lot of our clients, just because they have a peace of mind when it comes to potential hacks, or when it comes to moving money around, or any sort of custodial risk. Exactly. If I had to deal with that side of things as well, that would be that would be quite it would be difficult to sleep at night.
Pretty much.
But that's why you hire the best people, right?
Exactly. And you hire a really good monitoring team to basically monitor it 24/7.
Talking about people, Like how do you hire people into Bitwire?
Ooh. So this, in the very beginning, I always try to find the crazy people who are misfits everywhere and likes to, you try to always find the people who like doing a revolution together, right? Yeah. So these kind of guys are basically rebellious and they have their own but then you come up with like these like 4 or 5 people who's just like this, and then you're now trying to always propagate this culture they built, which is it's hard to a certain point, like to keep it unless you interview everyone yourself. And at a certain amount of people, you cannot interview everyone yourself, right? So now finally we had a HR department, but always last interview goes to me. How about you? How do you?
Same. I completely agree. Like in the beginning, you want like people that have like this fire. Trustworthy. I mean, I prefer to get someone with a bit less experience but with the right mindset rather than the other way around. That's very important to us. But it's like I think the most difficult part is when you're scaling and then you have like all those people with fire and you need to get like 20 or 30 more people. How do you create a structure? Like how do you compartmentalize in a way? You don't want to overdo it, you don't want to underdo it. So like finding the right balance between structure and chaos is I think the most difficult part, given that you have all of this energy in the team.
Exactly.
But I always do final interviews as well. Like one thing that I try to stick to when hiring people is if I wouldn't work for this person, like I don't want them to work for me as well.
That's a nice one.
They should be a good manager, even if they're not in a management position, but they should be a trustworthy, guided person that can, that has good communication. I think people skills is also a very important thing. Also for development, like if you're a developer and you're the best, I mean, you're still the best in development, but when like teamwork is much more important than individual contribution.
Somewhat. Yes. Somewhat. I completely agree with that.
It's people's game, although it's also an algo one.
Combination of both.
Should we do a quick break?
Sweet man.
Well, now we're back.
Thank you.
What do you think about recent events around hacks, exchange hacks? Quite a spicy.
Crazy. Crazy hacks going on. I mean, obviously the perpetrator mostly is Lazarus Group. And allegedly the North Koreans. I mean, the attacks that they conduct is just like really sophisticated. Like getting into phones, using zero-day exploits, getting to telecom networks, running money mules.
Insane.
Crazy.
I mean, you got to give it to them. It's quite a complex piece of engineering. You have like the social engineering, technical engineering, just like operational planning. If my mom raised me differently, I'll probably do that because it's so complex.
Exactly. It's so complex.
Really
interesting.
We've been getting like quite a bit of like hack attempts. Like it's at Enflux. They've been targeting primarily me with quite a bit of social engineering. We're talking about like kind of spoofing emails and then documents, PDFs as executable. So they have cases where they've actually researched who we work with and whoever they find, they're sending addendums, like contract addendums, and like we have a good framework for security. So like all of those files are being resent to a sandbox, opened, and you see it's executable, trying to like to get your passwords, get your MetaMask. It's insane. For now, no problems, but it's quite scary. It keeps you up at night.
It does. It definitely does. Hopefully, still everything's good, man. On your side. We also got this same kind of thing. I guess anyone in the audience would also like probably, if they're in crypto and they're doing some sort of like institution in crypto, they have they're targeted these attacks.
Yeah.
And usually they know the ring 1, ring 2, ring 3, which they know the relationships and all that. So
yeah, the social engineering part. They know your friends.
Like crazy.
Yeah,
they know your friends, your families. They know all the details about them, and probably they're buying from the darknet. And all that. I've also obtained like the same thing as you, like the DocuSign docs and documents that are very crafted to look at. And then you need to open it in a sandbox. You don't click whatsoever, right? We always try to. We have an internal security team, so we check and check. But there's this fun thing that I think we realized. The best thing for defense is offense.
Yeah.
So we try to hack back. Nice. So we try, but So especially, regarding crypto's customers' funds, which is very sensitive, right? And there's no exact rule or regulation to respond in any kind of attack. So we try to take it on our own hands.
Yeah. And the good thing is for companies like kind of Copper and Fireblocks.
Yes.
So they take most of the risk.
Yes.
Anyways, which makes it much easier.
Exactly.
We use a similar company for like our internal wallets for payments. So they do help quite a bit on the security side.
Nice. That's nice. Yeah. It gives you a peace of mind,
Exactly. Yeah. So do you think I'm thinking the same thing about market making.
Mm-hmm.
Is it more of a technology business, or is it more of a finance business, or is it more of a service business, right? For us personally, I think it's everything mixed. It's like, because you have tech, we have the developers, we have like the traders, trading operators, and we also have the guys servicing you, right? So it's a very balanced cut. What do you think about exchanges? Because different people have different perceptions. From a market making, it's like, exchanges are they're the tech guys because they interact with the technology.
Exactly.
For finance guys, I go, it's it's a financial kind of institution. What are you guys?
So in exchanges, I believe it's the same, like a bit of both, like it's a mixed thing. The exchanges, like in CME, they use FPGAs, which like the rockets use. So it is kind of some sort of rocket science in some sort of ways, trying to get the highest throughput at lowest latency, and with like redundancy, high redundancy in real time mission critical systems. Building that is hard. So I could say one part of it is like being hardcore tech.
Mm-hmm.
But then the tech's over. Now you need to be a people person, right? It's a business. It's a you build it based on like relationships and people. Right. So it's a bit of both, right? And then you when orders come in, you need to make sure the market's like efficiently and managed properly and all that, which is still like a tech game. So a little bit these two, right?
Yeah. For sure. So in regards to Indonesia, what is your guys' plan on attracting
investors,
like retail investors?
Right. So regarding Indonesia, I guess no one has touched the institution game yet in Indo. And
what about Indodax?
I think Indodax at this point, I cannot specifically comment on what they're doing per se, but I think their order book or the retail is, so the order book is primarily filled by retail institutions, right? So not the institutions. So by institutions, I mean the ones that have accredited investors according to the US law, like $1 million, and then they trade like in $100,000 clips, right? And these guys don't buy it for the speculation part only, right? So like hedge funds, crypto hedge funds, prop funds, and probably institutions that need access to cross-border payments using USDT. Basically these three.
I was actually thinking I need to reach out to Indodax. I think they need a bit of liquidity on their books.
I'm pretty sure, yeah.
Because I trade on Indodax before, right? And I do get slippage on a $10,000 order, right?
Yes.
Which is
insane.
Yeah, I mean not insane, but like maybe we can work.
I think you'll do better.
Yeah.
Do a lot better than that.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Market maker fails and all that is very important. Yeah. I think that's a good idea. Yeah. To reach out to Indodax. Yeah, and various other exchanges, I guess, in Indo.
Yeah.
Man.
What do you think about just like where does the bad reputation in crypto come from?
A lot. Like well, the easiest one is like there's the rug pulls, right?
Yeah.
The rug pulls that happens. That's really like you the financial market's like a place where you buyers meet sellers for matching financial needs, right? And when you have like these like bad actors in the space, it's just really makes space a bad spot. Especially in bull market cycles, right? In bear market.
Yeah.
Right. No one's pulling each other because like there's no money, right? Yeah. But then you have the scammers, and you have like the institutional scammers are the craziest ones.
Yeah.
Right.
One thing that's like we're noticing quite difficult is doing what Enflux is doing, which is trying to establish a new standard in doing market making. Like market makers have a really, really bad reputation when it comes to what they're operating, just because they're associated with like professional rug pools. We have a lot of our competition actually engaging in this type of activity.
Yes.
We're synchronized, and SSE is actually chasing up on some of those, and I think more is coming to light.
They probably should, yes.
They probably should. So we're quite happy. There's actually a spotlight on this. And we try to do things differently. We try to do it, first from a transparency perspective, like the analytics that we show, the collaborativeness part. Also like the non-custodial model, like the market making as a service, right? Yeah. So that's like we have
technology layer.
We don't have interest, right, in doing anything like this. It's against our interest to do something of this kind. What we've seen in a lot of the other types of market making models, the token loan option model, is the market makers do have the incentive to actually increase the price, get quite a bit of retail to actually buy the token, and then kind of rug pull professionally. So it's quite sad, and we're really trying to kind of shape the space to become more trustworthy and transparent. However, one thing that is really concerning me is now with platforms like Pump Fund or alternatives like what was it, Sun Pump as well. You have like very, very well crafted tools for organizing like rug pull engines. So those are not only rug pools, those are rug pull engines. Which means, like, especially with AI now, you can create content, you can create a meme coin. It's getting launched. It is being like you have multiple wallets buying the token in a way that is untraceable or very difficult to trace back. So you have like a simulation, kind of like a decentralized wash trading, and you get retail, and then they pull it. So like the sophistication that those guys use is now available like as a product for everyone
to use.
Which is like wow. And that also brings the case of why you should use centralized exchanges a bit more, right? So with a bit of regulation from regulatory bodies plus centralized exchanges, like this type of behavior, I think is a bit more correctable. But like it's again like chicken or the egg, like do you want to be completely decentralized? Do you want to be a bit centralized?
Or do you want
like there's no right question. I think hybrid. Hybrid plus understanding the risk, and doing the best you can on staying safe as a retail, because saving retail, I think, is the best way to build confidence in crypto and the product and the technology.
Exactly.
That's the only way we could make crypto great.
Exactly.
Not again, but just great. That's
just great.
Yeah.
Exactly. Nice one that you bring there on like safeguarding retail and like having a combination of like a centralized and decentralized exchange, right? So I've one part, like hopefully in terms of research that we kind of want to do down the line is this technology called ZK matching, right? So this, imagine if you have an exchange where you don't actually need to have it fully custodial, right? You don't need to send the money to all, but you like mark an MPC wallet, right? Like the Fireblocks of exchange risk, kind of thing. So imagine one market maker puts there, and another market puts there, another institution puts there, right? So our engine basically matches like these three like institutions with their orders and all that, and then there's a net off at the end, right? If you can technically or theoretically generate a proof every single time an order has been filled, you could then generate signatures for custodial swaps, right?
So
and that's
are
really
you talking about decentralized?
Not really.
Assets,
no. Okay. It's a little bit. So the matching would be centralized.
Okay.
But the custody, the custody would be. So you would have the security of a decentralized exchange with the throughput of a centralized exchange, and that would be great. And then I've been discussing with some very smart Technion from Tel Aviv guys. They've been like trying to develop this, but we're still far away.
One of my concerns, I always think about how can I exploit this. I just think about it, and like one thing that comes to mind is if it's off chain, like you're gonna be able to see like 100% what is going on in terms of swaps, which could predict like the short-term price fluctuation. Right? So I'm not sure if this is solved, but this is, I think that's the biggest pain point.
In the decentralized exchange that still exists too, right? So there's like these sandwich bots doing that stuff. But also if you change one day, if we're able to change these blockchains into fully ZK chains, so you wouldn't be able to determine what's in these like transactions, like Zcash. That'd be really cool. But it's a hard problem to solve, and I don't think it's like solved at all yet. But really, just getting like talking about this, it gets really excited about the future,
Yeah, for sure.
Just
definitely cannot be done on the current setup. Like we've been, I've been running some, some orders on Radium, Solana, and I see like 50% of the time, like my order is above $10, I get sandwiched. So and I lose maybe like 3% or something like that, right? And given that the fees are super low, you have an incentive to take those 3%, right? Yes. So that this type of operation cannot be done if we don't have a proper solution.
Yes, definitely. But the coolest thing about crypto is like whenever you touch a frontier and then you get surprised again. Right?
Yeah, exactly. It's always about the next thing. It's like, what can I build? How are they gonna
do it?
Screw me up? And then how am I gonna bypass this? And they're gonna screw me again. Again. That's why it's a bit of a game. It's a bit of a game. So but it's still serious.
The drama and the fun on top of you can make money on it. It's just crazy. It's just so much fun.
And also the freedom of like freedom. You guys have an office and team in Bali.
Yes,
right.
We do.
I'm a big Bali fan as well. Enflux started actually in Bali, like the whole concept.
That's nice.
I think there's something to this place where
I agree.
You get creative energy.
People.
I think it's mainly people.
And a lot of technical co-founders from like these various cities like Silicon Valley, New York, and like various cities in Europe such as Paris and London, they come here and they naturally like to live here and they want to live here. And I wish the infrastructure was a lot better. I think this would become like a tech hub. And people, the easiness of Kitas is like one thing people like here.
Yeah.
And, cool people, like, beautiful people, like like a cute girl, or like a cool looking guy, like that's like mainly the attraction of Bali too. And like beautiful sunsets, beautiful beaches.
Yeah. And just
exactly.
the positivity.
Exactly.
That's
the positivity is just like great.
I'm not missing from my time in London. It's
Yeah, same. That's also why we moved here from Jakarta. We started there 2019 and 2020. There was like the pandemic. I really wish we moved during the pandemic here. That would be really
the best.
Nice. Yeah. I bet.
Yeah.
I bet. Yeah. Like prices are low, and also like you can meet really cool people.
Not really that much about the prices. I think it's just the ability to explore like the wonderful aspects of the island with no people.
I see. Yeah. You rarely get that, right?
Exactly.
These days, like after the pandemic.
Yeah. For sure.
Yeah.
What do you think about like AI developments?
Oh. Wow. Yeah, I was working with during my PhD with a guy named Yosha Benjo. He won the Turing Award. It was in the deep learning space.
Yeah.
I knew him in the days before the AI revolution. So it was like maybe if I wasn't doing crypto, I was probably doing large language models right now or anything like closer. Shout out to a guy named Nico Pinto. No, Nico Pinto actually is he's a computer scientist. He mined BTC in the early days using Harvard GPUs.
Yeah.
So he's a really cool guy, and he built a GPU code custom. He's a very, very smart guy. And then he's building a startup on sound generation right now.
Yep.
So LLMs and sound generation, that's hard. And then
imagine being your own music producer.
Exactly. That's really cool. I kind of want to toy around. I've been discussing with this team and like generating an AI DJ set, right? It's Bali, right? So you kind of want to go to music festivals, parties, and all that, and be able to like somewhat impress, quote unquote, like to be able to DJ. But I'm really bad at music, and I didn't have any music background in my family. I don't know about yourself, but like being able to do that is just like fun.
I actually have my family is quite artistic. Yeah, my mom and my dad they were dancers.
Wow.
Right. Okay. So like Latino and then like salsa and then cha-cha, like ballroom dancing as well. I've been like hearing music all my life and just like dancing.
Oh wow.
It's the type of environment that I kind of grew up in.
Nice.
So I think when I retire, maybe in like 4 or 5 years, hopefully I get to that.
Dance. Okay.
Because I did forget how to dance properly. Like
okay.
I'm a bit ashamed, but it is what it is.
Okay.
Yeah. But on back to the AI topic, I do think like I kind of missed a bit the whole trend. I studied, like my master's dissertation was in deep reinforcement learning.
DRLs.
RLs in surgery, but in all other types of application of continuous learning. And I decided to go to crypto, and then this happened. The revolution happened.
Revolution happens.
But I think
do you feel like you missed it?
I'm not sure. Like I think I just we need to integrate it as part of the businesses that we're running. There's no other way to stay competitive.
I agree.
It's like a lot of what Enflux is doing is client facing, consulting, and the thing is with everything else you have like the 80-20 rule. Like 80% of the questions of the inquiries are actually related to 20% of the questions, and vice versa. Like I think if we're able to essentially train an AI agent that's representable to a professional market making trader, that could be helpful for everyone and like assisting how markets are managed. Essentially, if projects want to manage those projects, I have quite a bit of interest in this. But yeah, things are going crazy, man. Like it's like I'm like I thought the revolution was coming, but not that soon.
I didn't think it would be that soon.
Yeah.
I was reading something this morning on comparisons on LLMs against human tasks, and that not just human tasks that are like, like moving books or all that. It's just basically these like cognitive tasks that are really hard. I'm surprised they score like 89%, right, against any other humans.
Yeah.
Right. So I'm like, this is, I used to laugh about like when I was in Montreal with these guys who were talking about AI safety, and I'm like, come on, guys, this is just like something that's but now I take him seriously. And I mean, as you two like work in the DRL space, and me work in the DL space, I just enjoy like seeing the whole thing and being able to use it. But like I'm scared sometimes, prompting, writing a prompt, and I use it to learn language, right? And like various like languages like Japanese, Russian, and also Chinese. But other than that, I'm scared to like ask.
Yeah.
I'm actually scared. Yeah, of like being able to like this stuff that Jeffrey Hinton was like mentioning, that these systems shouldn't be learning this. Like, so if you ask something, the system would like reply.
Yeah.
But then there's something. So we went to a music festival in Jakarta, and someone asked, why is the music festival not? It's not as good as it was last year, right? So it means they somehow understand the statistical relationship between last year and this year, and like also the people who come, and like, are you I don't know, like, are you comfortable with an AI system being able to know immediately 5 minutes after everyone came back home, why is it not as cool as last year? Like, not many people come, right? I wouldn't wanna. Right? I'm scared about the answers that these systems are. And I also read another paper that was like, we're past the red line of self improvement loop. I don't know. Do you think that way, or what do you think about this?
I think so.
Yeah,
I think so. I think so, because it's, I mean, humanity as a whole has been evolving like physically, and then like mentally, cognitively, and then started depreciating physically, and now it's starting to depreciate
mentally.
Mentally as well. So I'm very worried about in which direction it is going. Do you know the word, like the words of the year for 2024?
No.
From Oxford, it's brain rot.
Brain rot.
Yeah. I think that's
deep.
I think that's quite kind of symbolic.
That's deep.
I think we should use technology for the betterment of humankind.
I agree.
Not for the substitution.
Replacing.
Yeah, exactly.
We're seeing substitutes now.
Exactly, right? But the question is, what exactly is betterment? I think betterment could be the ability to provide freedom for someone to do something new, or to do something different, or to feel calmer, or to be safer. I don't see any of that, and this is the reason I'm a bit worried. So interesting to see how it's going to be played out. I think decentralization is going to have part of it in a very, very big way. It's like there are AI agents currently interacting with each other, sharing transactions and knowledge. They're paying for their knowledge to exchange it and create. I think maybe that's what HAI actually is. You have like an incentive platform of multiple agents that is combining its knowledge base to achieve a better understanding of the whole, which essentially represents the like kind of the cognitive ability of humanity as well. So if it gets large enough, it's going to represent that with much higher precision and much less emotions, hopefully. I don't know how emotions are currently mapped out.
Yeah, exactly.
That's the thing.
What are emotions and how they're mapped out in the brain also.
So,
do these AI systems even like have that kind of...
They can simulate it. That's like I can also simulate being sat now. And I think they can understand like what simulation actually means. But is it like backward compatible to actually defining the initial behavior? I don't think so. It's not a self-correcting behavior. It's more of a simulatory.
And they don't have the sensory systems that we have
for now.
For now. Right. Oh, that's even scarier. Yeah.
Interesting stuff.
Yeah.
Back to Bitwire stuff and Enflux back to crypto.
Crypto.
It's like where should we go? Where should we go next year for events? I'm definitely going to Token.
I'm definitely going to Token.
I'm going to Consensus as well in Hong Kong in February.
Consensus is definitely in the radar. The ETH events, like I guess I don't know, is it still in Denver next year?
I think it's still in Denver. Yeah,
but definitely Token. Dubai was first time happening this year.
Yeah,
and it was a flooding, and it was. I hope
were you there
next year. Yeah, we were there. Were you there?
Yeah. I was stuck in the floods. I was trying to. So I went there. I went there on Sunday, just like a few days before that.
Same.
Organized some meetings, and then there was like Monday. Come some side events, and then I think everything started on Tuesday or something. So Tuesday I was going to some side events with the tube because it was like raining. There's no taxi, and I cannot get out. I cannot get out of the tube. It's just like raining and then flooding, and then I started going back with the tube again. I go out. It's like water up to the knee.
Yeah.
It's like cars passing. I can barely get to the hotel.
Yeah.
You don't know where you're stepping.
Yeah.
So, anyways, got back there. I'm like, okay, today's like BS. We're not doing anything. So the next day, tomorrow, we order a car. We actually found a guy, a friend of ours, that managed to find a taxi. So he made the taxi come to our place to pick us up so we can go to side events. So he comes there, like, I'm not going. I'm like, what do you mean I'm not going? Well, you need to come to the taxi because I cannot really get in the streets, man. So again, put on the jacket, walk in the water like up until here, get in the car. And the guy starts driving to Central, like the CBD.
Yeah.
Driving and driving and driving. Maybe it's like 6-7 kilometers. And then he's like, that's it. I cannot continue. I'm like, what do you mean? Well, I cannot continue. Okay, can you get us back? Like, no, man, sorry. It's like, what do you mean? Oh, well, I just have to drop you off here. That'll be $100. I'm like, what the fuck?
Same interaction.
Yeah. So we ended up walking for 3 hours back. While everything is flooded.
It
was interesting. Yeah. However, we did manage to do a client meeting in McDonald's. That was the only thing that was open. So at least we managed to get something done that day.
Yeah. Whoever was in crypto this year in Dubai was just like
liquidated.
Having meeting and too much liquidity.
Yeah. It's just essentially the forecast of what was coming in like November or something. Yeah. So are you bullish for next year?
Yeah, bullish. Yeah. Not investment advice, but I think we're really expecting the Bitcoin to be much higher. Yeah, not significant higher, but like just higher.
Yeah.
How about you? Do you have any forecasts or like personal opinions?
I'm not sure, to be honest.
Sure.
It's very difficult. So the thing about us is we're market neutral anyway, so we shouldn't really care.
Yeah.
But I mean, the higher the price, the more liquidity there is. So that this is what we care about.
Exactly.
So I'm generally quite bullish. However, I think there's a pattern that I see that if everyone starts being bullish, then everyone is wrong, right? So I think that is what happens in previous years. But like just moving this aside, like the Trump administration coming up with kind of some restructuring on the SEC side that is going to be more crypto friendly, and I think we're moving in the right direction.
Pretty much.
However, one thing that worries me is that the crypto market is quite tied up to kind of stocks and alternative investments, just because it makes sense.
Exactly.
It makes sense. Institutional is in crypto as well.
Yeah.
So what happens in terms of rate cuts like yesterday, what happens in terms of potential conflicts, this all reflects on crypto. So I believe if there isn't any sort of significant unplanned development for the worse, like we're going to see a very, very good year for 2025 in crypto for both alt markets and especially for BTC, ETH. However, it's hard to predict what a whole year is going to bring.
Yep. You never know also. Yeah.
You never know.
Yeah.
You never know what you don't know.
Exactly. And it might happen too soon. Like we expect like 100K to be happening next year, but now it happened like this year. So like, great.
It was the first time I was actually taking a holiday for a proper holiday for like a year and a half, and it happened to be in the week where Bitcoin shot up by like 25K. I'm like, man, like I cannot, like the timing. But it all went well.
Yeah, it all went well.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. So do you invest?
I do. How about you?
Well, no.
No.
Okay. I mean, yes and no. We invest as a company. Enflux, we do OTC investment.
Yes.
However, I've had the question: should I invest myself personally?
Yeah.
I am a believer in crypto.
Yeah.
But I'm also smart, so which means I don't want to diversify, all of my investment to be in crypto, because all of my investments is in Enflux. So and Enflux is in crypto. So if I invest in more crypto, it's like now diversification. It's essentially just like putting more eggs in the same
leverage.
Basket. Yeah, exactly. So I'm like full on crypto, but I don't put money in crypto. I do it indirectly.
Yeah. I feel like I missed a lot of the investment opportunities in crypto because I'm too focused in of course, like Bitwire, and like all my life is probably in Bitwire, and like trying to to do the exchange operations and all that. So on that side, don't sometimes buy some small coins just to see how it goes, but never
you did Fartcoin, right?
I did not do Fartcoin.
I'm just joking.
I just like looked at it in awe because we're like, we're like, okay, like, so actually a meme is really important, right? Fartcoin, bye. So it's just funny how the human nature works, man. Yeah. But I do equity investments in startups that do AI in crypto, personally. But anything that's related in crypto, we always invest in a company that's not in some sort of like conflict of interest. It's really, really nice. Really nice to see and look at.
For sure. The options. What's the game plan there?
Options.
Like
right?
we ourselves haven't gotten into options yet.
No, not yet.
Can you tell me why we should go to options as a market maker?
I guess like price discovery happens if you have an options market, right, on a specific asset pair. We already have these perps, which is like basically very efficient. But then if you just like a more efficient way to do price discovery is options. And you delta neutral using the perps for the options and all that. But there's one thing, like there's not an exchange where you can do long dated options. There's no exchange where you can like find low cap options, like low you call like mid cap, low cap, like already exists on Debit, Solana, ETH, BNB and BTC, but like not exact, like for smaller ones. Right? And we've been recently seeing a new exchange called CoinCall, just doing like an exchange for options and like manufacturing these. There's been like a couple of interests like regarding to the OTC desk, like the orders that come in don't represent like spot views. They want to quote in options, so we're at the point where
how would like options fit in like a kind of small cap or like mid cap? How would it? I guess we work with a bunch of projects like around like 100. Like why should I go to them and tell them, hey, options is good for you from their perspective? Like what is it?
Right.
How's it gonna benefit them?
For these like well, for these guys basically delving into like options would be an interesting way to achieve price action. Right. Definitely, I think at this point only the majors have price action, or like at least top 10 CoinGecko. Right. And then various OTC desks like price them internally also.
I think I think also just purely from a like trading volume perspective will be really interesting.
It would be really interesting. Yes.
It's like we're getting some of our clients on perpetuals.
Yes.
Right. So like if you have perpetuals, you have more sophisticated investors as well. That can also take like a short position as well as a long one. Right.
Exactly.
So I think like options just from adoption perspective would be one step beyond that as well. So we'll be expecting much more trading volume, therefore much more adoption as well, much more ability for like kind of upward price discovery, so to say.
Yes, especially if you have the lending market on the spot.
Yeah.
It like completes like the option portfolio, like delta neutral portfolio.
Yeah.
We try to have that also. Like you can like lend some assets at certain interest rates.
Yeah.
Right. That's interesting.
Yeah. So you can actually short fart.
Yeah, coin. Hopefully very soon. Yeah, definitely on perps you can do that.
Yeah.
But we try to be able to like do it on spot, because like the securities lending business is a big industry itself. Like making a T+0 is crazy.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
So man.
For sure.
Yeah.
How many hours do you work per week?
Ooh.
Someone put a book here.
Yeah.
The 4-hour work week. Which doesn't really represent us, I guess.
Definitely not. Definitely not. Yeah,
like I'm like doing 7 days per week. Maybe like 12 hours or something.
Yeah. Still picking up. I mean, as a market maker yourself, like exchange, picking up the phone at 2 or 3 a.m. in the morning is not unheard of. Yeah. You do that.
Yeah. Oh, you do what you do. I guess same for you, right?
Yeah, exactly. The coolest thing is then you meet people who are as obsessed as you in the field, and then you enjoy being around them.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And what everyone says about, like if you love what you do, it doesn't really matter. Like, that's really the case.
It does.
When you're working on your business, especially, it's your baby. You take care of it, and of course you're gonna get up in the middle of the night.
Yes.
I know I'm gonna be a good dad because I take care of my baby at the moment.
Exactly.
Exactly. I'm quite a catch for sure.
Nice one.
Yeah,
man.
But it's so nice to also meet so many like-minded people that just take the business that you started growing, and it becomes their baby as well.
How often do you meet the like-minded, obsessed people working on something?
It's not very often. It's very hard to do. I think also because people that become obsessive about the business, they're also very entrepreneurial.
Yes.
Right? So you need to sell them the idea of your baby being the best baby, so to say. Sure. And there are a lot of people that want to prove themselves as well, or they just like the culture that we bring and that we built. I would say we've been quite lucky with like guys from on the marketing side and then the business side, trading side, like tech side, we've been very lucky to find the right guys at the right time. And we have an awesome team, but still when we're building out or expanding the team, like all of the interviews that we go through, like all of the selection process, it's like the biggest filter again is what we spoke about earlier, which is like the internal fire that you have. You need to have like the passion. So that's hard to get, because I feel that a lot of people that are good at something, they lose their fire over time, and finding someone that both has experience plus the inner drive to get shit done is more difficult than I initially thought. Yeah. What about yourself?
Yeah. Meeting like the like-minded entrepreneurs, because apparently because in Bali, meet them most of the time. There's a higher statistical chance that I meet them here. Recently been seeing a lot in Dubai too. They moved there for some reason, and there's like investor groups and like that I used to see in Silicon Valley or like New York, but like now they're like congregating here in Bali and Dubai. Don't need to necessarily be in the US anymore for the US centric. So Yeah, and especially with the people who work together with us, they're usually they're usually in it for the game too. And then just enjoy just working. Yeah, and have like traders working till like 6 or 7, but also they wake up and like we congregate group call in the night. It's I mean,
those we have quite a few of those guys, and they're the backbone of the company. It's like it's they are. There's us, but then there's them.
Then there's them.
Those guys are hardcore.
Those are hardcore. Yeah, sure.
We're planning to actually open a physical office in Bulgaria to get some developers. Like I'm originally from Bulgaria, lived in the UK for quite some time, and I think like Eastern Europe, it has very very hardcore people, very hardcore developers, very hardcore traders as well. It's like just like go in. So I would like to take the chance to say like we have open positions for trading operators, developers. It's like if you want to join our team, reach out. But it's as we discussed, like a cultural thing. Just going all in. Yeah. Definitely. How about Indonesia?
Indonesia would be great. Like I mean, I do suggest you to like hire from the Indonesian, hiring pool. The people are great. You could find really really interesting people who would, I guess, would work in the developing fields that you would not find anywhere else. Like I could find some very edgy developers that code in Rust in the middle of Java, for example, and I don't know how. I guess because the internet, right? They learn on their own, and then they like listen, like read these internet forums that are interesting, right? And I'm surprised. I'm surprised. The hardest part is just needing to have someone, an engineering manager that speaks Indonesian. And I suggest if that's somewhat of a case, like I suggest that. But other than that, like bringing in people to work here in Bali, especially, is just nice, right? Does not need any hassles like in the US. You need to prove that this and that work, labor stuff. It is still important in Indo, but like we're trying to bring the tech hub here.
I'm very bullish on Indonesia.
Same man.
For sure. And that's now that you said kind of self-learners and stuff like that. It's like I'm never gonna forget how I started my journey in engineering. My brother got me to London where he lived. I was still in Bulgaria, so I went to visit. He was working in Bloomberg, right? So he met me with like the top guys, the engineers, like they're doing like quantitative development. They're doing like algorithmic trading and stuff like that. I'm like, wow, like this is so cool. I mean, gets paid well, gets paid amazing. It's like reputation wise, like amazing. I'm like, oh shit, I'm gonna start programming so I can do algo trading and quantitative development. So I got back home and I got like my first book was Introduction to Programming with C++. Just like this thick, like 1,600 or something. Do you have this book? Like
Beyond Structure?
Yes, exactly. That's the one. So that's my first book. So I'm like just like I'm just gonna go for it. So I get the book, like first page, second page, third page, try it. So I managed to learn myself how to program just from a book and kind of online resources. And then I went to work at a startup called MammothDB. So they got bought up by like MariaDB Foundation. They were specializing in doing like big data analysis when big data was just coming up. It was very very interesting.
I think I've heard about MammothDB. Yes.
Very very nice team. But self-learning is it's kind of dedication, man. It's like it is. You're not gonna forget something you wanna know initially. You're always gonna keep it for yourself.
Exactly. Do you find time to read something new or books during the time you run Enflux? This is what I'm.
I try to, but it's very hard.
Oh
it's very hard.
Same.
It's very hard. So the type of books that I tried reading are a bit more health focused, to be honest, rather than
for some reason,
technical.
yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's like it's like one thing I notice is I'm kind of getting older, right?
Yeah,
so like
true.
if I don't take care of my health, like it's not gonna take care of my brain and my body and stuff like that. So I just focus on health books and redefining the way I live my life. I used to smoke 2 packs a day, maybe drink almost every day. Just like eat whatever.
Yeah, same.
And now I skip breakfast. I don't smoke. I don't drink.
That's really good.
Yeah. So I guess I read books that encourage this type of behavior around me, and kind of also some business books on just like kind of running a company and but it's very, very hard to find time.
I agree.
Yeah, I agree. I think I'm gonna switch to like audiobooks, maybe kind of shorter.
I find audiobooks very pleasing when I'm in the car.
Yeah.
But when I'm in the car, I listen to them, I get sleepy. That's the thing, right? So they're very information dense.
Yeah.
You listen to them and like, I feel like they're very dense. So I just get like, but like the podcast type.
Yeah.
Like I listened to Darknet Diaries. It's by Jack Rhysider. That's a really cool one.
Yeah.
On hack attacks and how like people like see like hacks and all that, and also touch of crypto, cybersecurity, AI, and most of the other stuff that our industry is working on. I realized after a while, like reading, I'm fascinated about health, like yourself, is very, very important. Because I mean, we both are putting like these crazy hours weekly, and the effects on our body is just immense, and you feel it. And if you don't exercise, you don't like eat a certain way, it's just like right
for sure.
But finding some. I realized that I've been mentioning about Beyond Source's book, like from like reading the technical book to now like reading books that other CEOs write. I feel like right now the books that like caught my eyes are like the ones that running this team is like it's actually hard. It's not that easy, and making perceiveness and all that. Like turns out there's other people. Like I used to see these business books as like this is another dude like talking shit. Maybe like they don't know what they're doing.
I think that the difficult part about running a business or kind of managing people, at least for technical people like us, is that we've almost always had certainty about what needs to be done and how it needs to be done, and a validation that it's actually working, right? But now, like it's about like perception of working. Is it? What do you mean your team is working? Like, does the team collaborate? What is collaboration?
What is collaboration?
How do you define it? Are you sure?
And there's no metrics in the beginning.
There's no way. So you need to approach it from like 5-6 different angles in order to get to the truth, which is somewhere in between. It's an interesting journey for sure.
It is.
I've actually started reading a book. It was from the writer of *Sapiens*, Noah Harari. He has a new book. It's called *Nexus*. It is about the evolution of information networks. I would really, really recommend. Essentially, how information is being transcribed, delivered, communicated, passed on, and like how it evolves. So essentially, from storytelling to AI, it's like the whole journey. It's a very interesting book. It's one of my favorite writers.
He's one of my favorite writers too. I even emailed him thanking him for his books. Nice. And
did he respond?
He did respond.
Oh, nice. Okay, I'm gonna email him as well.
He's a cool guy if you email him. So Homo Deus was really cool. Homo Sapiens was really amazing. It's just like, oh wow. But I didn't read Nexus yet. I probably should.
I think it's news like from last month or something. Wow. What about The Alchemist?
Never read Paulo Coelho yet. Have you read?
I've read it a couple of times. This book, I have a very
you read it a couple of times.
I really love. There's a concept that I really love from it, and the concept is about kind of people soul searching and then searching for themselves or searching for the thing that would define them, and at the end, the search is essentially you find it within you, building, the best version of yourself in a way. Yeah. So I really love the book. Totally recommend it.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Probably I should try that out.
Try it out.
That's nice.
Yeah,
that's
it's
nice,
about
man.
building your own personal legend, right? So I think the same way I'm trying to build my own personal legend for myself, trying to do so for the company as well. I think you're doing the same. Trying to build the best thing possible in the context you're provided. Yeah, definitely interesting journey. Happy to share it as well.
Likewise.
Yeah.
Likewise, man. Yeah. Really, really nice.
Cool, man. Well, thanks for joining.
Thank you.
Again.
Really, really appreciate it.
Yeah.
Thank you for inviting.
Yeah, thanks for inviting as well. And talk soon, man.
Sweet. Yeah. Oh, I said it. Thank you. Nice.